it's Kyle, 9.9 Comics, Chris and Kyle. My good friend Jake Estrada.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Creator of Demon Donuts and Battlecats. Don't forget the movie coming out soon. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be good.
Hi, welcome to 9.9 Comics with Chris and Kyle.
I am Kyle.
And I am Chris. And today we'll be talking about comics getting released March 28th, 2018.
Correct. And I'm going to start out today with the big two. And we're going to start out with DC with their release of Mother Panic Gotham AD #1. This is a really interesting title, guys. After the fallout of Milk Wars, Violet Page finds herself in a Gotham City unlike any we have seen before. 10 years into the future, in a world without Batman, Gotham City has been taken over by the Collective, with Gala acting as head of city-state. In a high-tech town with zero tolerance toward caped crusaders and mass vigilantes, except for those designed by Gala and her association of aristocratic artisans. What's a woman who has vowed vengeance to do? And what's happened to her mother, Rebecca Page? Perhaps the Joker, now a sad clown who makes balloon toys shaped like Tommy guns and machetes on the abandoned Gotham's docks, has the answers. Find out for yourself as Mother Panic returns to a different bat time, different bat channel. See, it's the opposite of the old saying.
Really excited for this.
Right.
Love Mother Panic.
Yeah, so. And just the description of that is awesome. And then moving on to Doomsday Clock #4. Is coming out. It's been on a really long hiatus, so I've been asking like, where's Doomsday Clock for like the longest time now? Because I mean, it ended with a bang, and I'm really looking forward to #4. And this is probably my favorite cover of all the Doomsday Clocks with Rorschach.
The well done lenticular.
Yeah, it's very minimalist. Only the center is lenticular. All right, and then moving into Silencer #3. Silencer is, of course, the assassin that was created in basically showcased in, not showcased, but first appearance, not first full appearance, but first appearance
first
in
mention.
In Dark Days of the Casting.
Yeah.
And then the Terrifics #2 is coming out. The Terrifics is, of course, the superhero team led by Mr. Terrific.
Plastic.
Right, Plastic Man is awesome. And then that's it for DC. With then we are moving into Marvel with their release of Damnation, Johnny Blaze, which is the it's an offshoot comic of Doctor Strange Damnation, and in this comic, Johnny Blaze takes the fight to the different devil than he usually faces, Mephisto, which Mephisto is, in my opinion, one of the most cool. I think probably Doctor Doom is my favorite, but I have to give Mephisto his respect. He's pretty cool. But Mephisto will show Johnny his own brand of suffering and give Johnny plenty of reasons for vengeance, like destroy everything.
And the cover for this comic is phenomenal.
Right.
Absolutely phenomenal. And it's a good Ghost Rider comic again.
Yeah.
And ties into Donny Cates' work, so it's definitely a prime piece.
Donny Cates, Johnny Blaze, together in Damnation.
Yeah, okay.
And then we have the #3 coming out for Old Man Hawkeye. Old Man Hawkeye was, in my opinion, did better by the Marvel fans than Old Man Logan did. Old Man Logan was big for Logan fans, but I feel like Marvel fans as a whole are enjoying Old Man Hawkeye better, and it is one of those ones, and it's especially for comic that's not being written by Marvel comic that's not being written by Donny Cates is doing good right now. That's a good sign, guys. You need to pick it up. And then leading off the end of Marvel with Avengers #686, which is the comic after the second. Basically, 684 was the first appearance of the bring back Bruce Banner, and then the 685 was the second half of that. It was kind of like the continuation of the first appearance of Bruce Banner, reappearance of Bruce Banner, and then now it's going to get back into the storyline and focus on the whole. And that's it for Marvel.
Moving on from there, we're going to get into some Titan comics. Bloodborne #2 is getting released. #1 did really well for a video game comic in general. It's gone into second print, which...
General.
It's gone into second print, which is huge. And moving on from there, we have Factory #1. So a brief summary of this: Mad Max meets Fallout in the nightmarish version of life on a dystopian planet. From Alejandro Jodorowsky and Mobius collaborator Yassine Elgo El-Khoury, a band of mutants slog through the harsh deserts of a dystopian planet in search of the Factory.
The Factory.
The last semblance of civilization left among the wastelands. So yeah, it sounds a lot like Fallout, and that's super exciting for me. Moving on from Titan into Zenescope, so we have Peekaboo #1, and so a brief summary on this: mother seeking solace with her 2 teenage children after a recent tragedy signs up for a group hiking and camping tour. But navigating the difficult terrain is the least of the hikers' worries, as the group soon finds they're being stalked by unseen predators. So the way this comes out is it seems like it might be like a hack and slash in a comic, and it is Zenescope 1 that's not anything to do with like the Grimm fairy tales. So it's an interesting piece to pick up, and it is an offshoot from what they regularly do. I recommend picking it up. Moving on from there, what I'm pretty excited about after I found out about it, from Mad Cave Studios, Battlecats #1, as well as #2 getting released from Diamond. So there's a huge following to this comic already, and they are a publisher out of Miami, and this is the first time that these comics have been distributed through Diamond, and it's a huge deal. Now, researching this, there's more, but they only really sold them at like cons and in-person events and stuff. They didn't have a distribution deal with Diamond yet. So these are the first ones that we're able to pick up like in-store and stuff, but if you see them, they might be at MegaCon. They are out of Miami. So if you see them and they have earlier ones, I would scoop those up.
Right. If you see #0 anywhere, get it.
Yeah, it's huge. It's 30 pages of backstory about the universe. So, brief summary on Battlecats 1 and 2 coming out. The Battlecats face their toughest challenge yet as King Aramad III sends them on a mission to slay the legendary Dire Beast.
Dire Beast.
Old and new foes alike clash with our brave warriors as they trek through the haunted region of Lamarck. Will our heroes overcome these obstacles, or will they become prey to the very beast they hunt? Madness is coming to your local comic store with Battlecats Issues 1 now available, Issue 2 set to be released on March 28th. Don't miss the start of this epic quest, so join the Battlecats on their action-packed journey through the world of Valdaria. So Issues 1 and 2 are coming out at the same time. Lots of confusion on it. Best way to describe it is Thundercats meets Game of Thrones.
Thunder Thrones.
Yeah, so the Battlecats, the story of it's like, art style-wise, like Thundercats, but then the story has a lot of political things, different regions. I mean, the issue 0 came with like a full-on map and like territories and stuff. And the guide that I read a review for, the old ones, said it was like Thundercats meets Game of Thrones, and it definitely sounded like it was.
Thunder Thrones.
Yes, the Thunder Thrones. So definitely pick this one up. It's already a big deal. #2 is already sold out of Diamond, so. And then starting off Image Comics, we have Cyberforce #1. 2018. Kind of a big issue. It's a Top Cow Image comic. Brief summary of it: to protect the future, what will we become? The classic series returns in a reimagining overseen by creator Mark Silvestri. In a modern world where humanity is defined by the technology it creates, a terrorist strikes at the heart of our human progress. One of the few survivors of the attack is a man named Morgan Stryker, mortally wounded.
Stryker.
I feel like this is Mortal Kombat Stryker.
Stryker.
Stryker's life is saved by his employers, but the price could be his humanity itself. So this looks fun. I know Cyberforce was Top Cow's flagship comic back in the day.
Correct.
So this is a huge deal.
It's coming back. Back in action.
Back. Gotta get back. Back to the past.
Cyberforce Samurai Jack song? Get out of here.
So, yeah, looking forward to that one. Should definitely pick it up. Moving on from there into Days of Hate number 3. So we've talked about Days of Hate before. It's an Image comic. Image comics are consistently doing well.
Right.
Really don't need to go into much more detail from there, because I'm really excited to move on to the next one. Hit Girl number 2.
So stoked for this. Hit Girl one was so good. They did Hit Girl so much justice.
I mean, both the new Kick-Ass and new Hit Girl comics are on fire.
Yeah.
And they're so good.
There's such great reads.
So definitely want to pick up Hit Girl number 2. Moving on from there, we have Void Trip 5 of 5. It is the last comic in at least this run of Void Trip. Who knows if they're going to maybe bring it back later on with a continuation. So Void Trip's done pretty well in store. It's once again an Image and the last of a run. Key issue to pick up.
Right. Which brings us to the 9.9 no-brainer!
That it does, that it does. So, this week, the 9.9 no-brainer, and I get to do it, which makes me so happy, because it's like the only comic I've been keeping up with right now. Dark Knight's Metal, the final issue, 6 of 6. The end is here. So, it's getting released. Obviously, you've heard us talk about Metal probably more.
And issue 5 was a curveball, if I've ever read one.
So great. I mean, especially with the Wild Hunt afterwards.
Yeah, no, the Wild Hunt was an amazing...
So crazy. Like, everything just got screwy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this comic book series has been on point through and through. It's revitalized DC's comics in ways that nobody was really expecting. It introduced a bunch of new characters and new titles that are doing massively successful out of it. Brought in Sandman.
Right.
So, spoiler there, but it's been long enough.
Neil Gaiman's Sandman.
Yeah, from Vertigo into the DC universe. So Doomsday Clock isn't the only one that was bringing in Vertigo characters.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of big stuff that's been happening in Metal, and honestly, the entirety of this run is collectible. Nothing happens in any of the issues that is not important.
Right.
To DC Comics as a whole.
Correct.
So definitely pick up the last of the run. I know I will be picking up one of every cover, like always.
Right, you got it, because I mean, all the cover artists, they're ridiculous.
Oh, and
Capullo, Kubert, Lee. I mean,
Tony S. Daniels replacing Ramita Jr. So,
because he's doing Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think that's an episode, guys.
I think we will bid you adieu.
We will bid you adieu.
Have a good night.
Adieu.